It's the AUTODOME 5000i, new series. It comes with or without IR. It has a lot of new features from the older version, so we're excited to take a look at it and see what kind of specifications it has.
That's great. I mean, this is the updated version, so we always like, updated, newer, improved, nicer features, which we'll go over. So let's take a look at this camera out of the box, what we get with it. Obviously, this is our literature. I see a Torx screwdriver in here. Can you pull that out for me?
Yep.
And obviously the literature
Torx
there.
screw installation manuals, everything you need to install.
Nice that it's all handy right on the top there, not going to get lost.
Yep.
And I typically know that these to be very simply packed, very easy to get to. So not a lot of parts and pieces, which is great. That makes it very user-friendly for the technician. So this is our Pendant Adapter.
Right.
It allows us to interface with the different mounts.
Right. It's a 1.5-inch NPT threaded, which fits most mounts. All of our Bosch's new mounts are a universal 1.5-inch NPT thread, so it works well with other mounts that work with other cameras. So it's nice to have one set of mounts that work with multiple cameras. And
that's great too, because that 1.5-inch standard threaded conduit is what a lot of mounts from other manufacturers, and it's kind of an industry standard.
Very common. Yep.
So if you're doing a refit or a rehab, you might have a mount in place already that we can reuse.
Right.
So that's nice that this is part of the dome, and that is
first part that comes out, which is great because that's the first part you're putting up.
All right, it's like Christmas here. And that is it.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, we can move that out of the way. See, it's very nicely packaged, by the way. So I do know this. We need to protect it or remove this protective film. First, we're going to remove some Torx screws, and we're going to remove the foam shipping packing material that's inside this dome.
Okay, going to do that now.
Have at it. So some of the new features you mentioned on this camera, this new 5000i series, is it has it has essential video analytics on board.
EVA. Yep.
EVA. So that is a great feature. We can be notified of events as they occurred. Helps the system be intelligent within our VMS. This also comes in Starlight now, which previously was only on the 7000 series, our high performance end of PTZ cameras. So we now have EVA, essential video analytics. We have Starlight capability. It also comes with the capability to do H.265 compression technology. I can tell you sit at a desk a lot, just like me.
Exactly.
So, as we said, here's the foam shipping material in here. We'll remove this. Just protective material while we ship it. And tell me about the improved, what is wide dynamic range?
Yeah, so that's for different types of lighting scenarios and combating things like if you have a lobby with sunlight coming through the windows and a typical camera is going to get a silhouette of a person. You're just going to see a black silhouette. You won't see their face, or you might not see what's behind them. So it just helps combat and lets you see every single image of the scene.
Yeah, so you don't miss anything with those bright highlights, dark low lights. And this is, how many dB of range?
120,
so
which is a big improvement of the last version.
Yeah, so much better ability to do wide dynamic range. What else am I missing? Oh, I know so what I'm doing now is just some protective covering on the lens. And if we push this lens all the way down, what goes in back here?
That's going to be our micro SD card for local storage.
Correct, up to a 2 terabyte.
Exactly.
So that is very nice, very easy to get to. That's all we have to do now. That was just, again, protective for our dome bubble.
Put the dome back on.
Yep.
Also has a better low light sensitivity than the last version, so it's a big improvement in low light and wide dynamic range.
Yeah, I know that it comes in a standard low light version. Then it also comes in Starlight, which is ultra low light. So I get in that version if I have an area that has very, very minimal lighting and I still need to make an image. If I have no lighting, what do I do?
You use the IR version.
That we have over there, just as a display too. Another thing to point out too is the improved zoom capability also. Up to 135 millimeter 30x zoom. We can identify you can identify somebody at 600 feet away.
Which is, it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
And for all the mounting accessories and things like that, there is a product selection guide on Bosch's website, which I use all the time. Certainly just call us and we will help you figure out what those mounts are that you need. But it's great that Bosch is also backing this up with some nice literature that helps us pick the right parts
And I'm going to set this right here. But those mounts that you talked about, the variety of mounts, all work with this 1.5" threaded conduit.
Right.
So once I install this onto the top of the camera, then any of my mounts will work with this.
Yep.
And I see power here also. We have an Ethernet cable that provides PoE.
Right.
What other way can I power that? This is 24
Yeah,
volt
your 24
AC.
volt AC. Yep.
So we're kind of power agnostic. If you have an Ethernet cable and you can do
Exactly.
PoE, I believe this is requires 30 watts.
Yes, I think it's right around there. I believe that's exactly right.
So we can do either PoE or we can do 24 volts.
Right.
So whatever is better, depending on the distance and things like that. So I can mount this real quickly, but this is the, now we have our 5000 Series I egg, our universal pendant adapter mount. And you know what, I'm not going to screw that down just for the interest of time, but this is our new camera.
Yeah, doesn't take much time though.
I like it,
There you go.
There's a limited number of parts and pieces in here, and this universal pendant adapter mount really makes it easy with all the different mounts that you mentioned.
Yep, exactly.
So, for additional information on this, obviously feel free to reach out to us.
Of course.
You can also reach out to our, please go online and click our link and go to our blog, and you'll find out a lot of information on this if you want to search your information that way. But either way, this is definitely something to consider in those mid-range applications.
Absolutely.
For Pendant
I
Zoom.
think it'd be a great product for us.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right.